Listen up, because I'm going to say something most men are too scared to admit. Ignoring a woman can sometimes be the fastest way to make her chase you. And before you click away or roll your eyes, let me explain why this isn't about being cruel, playing games, or acting like a jerk. It's about understanding human psychology and the dynamics of attraction that most men completely ignore. Here's the truth. Too many men fall into the trap of being available, desperate, and predictable. They text too much, over-explain themselves, try to win her over with compliments, and overcommit before the relationship even has a foundation. And what happens? Women lose interest. It's not because women are shallow, but because human attraction is wired to value challenge, mystery, and self-respect. Let me make it simple. Imagine a woman is walking through a crowded room. There are two men she notices. One man stares at her, compliments her nonstop, and tries to make her laugh while constantly seeking her attention. The other man is confident, relaxed, and focused on the people around him, but he glances her way occasionally. Guess which man she's more likely to notice and feel drawn to? That's right, the one who doesn't chase her desperately. Now, this doesn't mean you ignore her completely like a robot or act like a cold person without emotions. It doesn't mean you stop being kind or respectful. What it does mean is you stop giving away your value for free. You stop making yourself easy to consume. Because here's a controversial fact that most men refuse to admit. Women are naturally attracted to men who have their own lives, priorities, and self-respect. The more you chase, the less she values you. The less you chase, the more she notices your confidence, independence, and mystery. Some of you are already thinking, but doesn't ignoring her make me seem rude? That's exactly what I want you to understand. There's a difference between being rude and being unavailable in a strategic way. It's not about hurting her feelings, it's about raising your standards and letting her see that your attention is not something she can take for granted. Most men never do this. They hand over their attention on a silver platter and then wonder why she loses interest after a few days or weeks. Here's another controversial truth. Ignoring her strategically is not manipulation. It's self-respect. It's a boundary. It's showing that your time and energy are valuable. And when a woman sees a man who is confident enough to live his life without constantly seeking her validation, it triggers something powerful in her brain: intrigue, curiosity, and yes, attraction. She starts to think, why isn't he texting me? Why isn't he chasing me? What's different about him? That's when the dynamic shifts. Of course, this strategy only works if it's paired with genuine confidence, purpose, and social intelligence. Ignoring her blindly or being aloof out of fear will backfire. Women can sense desperation a mile away. But if you're living your life, improving yourself, and only giving attention when it feels right, you create scarcity, and scarcity drives desire. Let me be brutally honest. Most men fail at this because they misunderstand attraction. They believe that the more they pursue, the more she'll like them. But here's the harsh reality. Over-pursuit kills attraction faster than rejection. A man who ignores a woman strategically is not playing games. He's simply playing by the rules of psychology that women respond to instinctively. And before you dismiss this as just tricks or mind games, consider this. Every time you chase too hard, you're teaching a woman that your attention is cheap. Every time you make yourself too available, you're giving away your power. But when you step back, live your life fully, and make your attention earned rather than automatic, suddenly she has to invest in you rather than the other way around. Now, I know some of you are thinking, so I should just ghost her, ignore her completely, and hope she comes back. That's not what I'm teaching. Strategic ignoring is about balance. It's about knowing when to step back, when to respond, and when to let her curiosity and desire grow naturally. It's about being a man with boundaries, self-respect, and purpose, qualities that, frankly, most men today are lacking. So here's the bottom line, and I want you to really feel this. If you're chasing too hard, you're killing your chances without even knowing it. Ignoring a woman strategically is not cruel, it's smart. It's not playing games, it's showing self-respect. And the controversial truth that will make most men uncomfortable? Most of you are giving your attention away for free, and that's why women don't chase you. In this video, I'm going to break this down for you. I'll teach you exactly how to balance attention and mystery, why ignoring strategically can increase attraction, and how to do it without being cold, rude, or disrespectful. By the end, you'll see why ignoring her sometimes isn't just an option. It's the single most powerful tool most men never learn to use. So buckle up, because I'm about to challenge everything you thought you knew about attraction and show you a controversial truth that most men refuse to admit. But the successful, confident men already understand. Let's start with a harsh truth most men refuse to admit. Chasing a woman too hard actually destroys attraction. It sounds counterintuitive, right? You think that if you text her every day, compliment her nonstop, or always make yourself available, she'll like you more. But the opposite happens. The more you chase, the less she values you. The more you beg for her attention, the more she loses interest. Here's why. Attraction is built on respect, mystery, and challenge. When a man is constantly pursuing, he shows that his attention is cheap. He makes himself predictable and too easy to get. And women, just like anyone, are naturally drawn to things that feel valuable and earned. If she can have your attention anytime she wants, why would she feel excited, curious, or drawn to you? Think about it like this. Imagine a limited edition product in a store. If it's scarce, hard to find, and only a few people have access, everyone wants it. But if the same product is on every shelf, available to everyone, suddenly it's no longer special. The same principle applies to your attention. When you chase constantly, you're making yourself ordinary, and ordinary is never attractive. Here's a real-life example you've probably seen. A man likes a woman and texts her nonstop for days. He's complimenting her looks, asking about her day, even sending memes to make her laugh. At first, she might respond politely, but very quickly, her excitement fades. Why? Because he's giving everything before she even has to invest anything. She's no longer curious, no longer wondering if she's interesting enough to hold his attention. The chase is gone, and with it, attraction. Now, don't get me wrong, communication is important, but there's a fine line between showing interest and chasing desperately. Most men cross that line without even realizing it. And this is where the controversial truth hits. If you want her to chase you instead, you have to stop chasing her first. This doesn't mean you ignore her completely or act like a jerk. It means you create boundaries and hold back your attention until it's earned. You respond in a way that's confident, calm, and purposeful, not desperate. You live your life fully and let her see that your attention is something she has to earn, not something that's automatically hers. Let's go back to an example. Imagine you're at a party or a social gathering. You see a woman you like. Instead of approaching her immediately, hanging on her every word, and trying to make her laugh nonstop, you walk in with confidence, talk to a few people, and enjoy yourself. You glance at her occasionally, maybe exchange a smile. Suddenly, she's noticing you. She's curious. She wants to know why you're not following her every move. That curiosity? That's the seed of attraction. You're not chasing, yet you're already pulling her in. This principle applies to texting too. Stop sending multiple messages if she doesn't respond immediately. Stop over-explaining yourself or constantly trying to make her laugh. Stop offering attention on demand. When you pull back, she starts to wonder why you're not available all the time. And that wonder leads to intrigue, and intrigue leads to attraction. Here's the hard truth most men don't like. Chasing makes you look needy, desperate, and low value. None of those traits are attractive. Women are naturally wired to respond to men who demonstrate self-respect, confidence, and independence. If you give her everything up front, she has no reason to invest or care. But if you hold back and let her curiosity grow, she starts to want your attention, not just accept it. It's also worth noting that this isn't just about romantic situations. It applies to all interactions where attraction is involved. A man who is always available for a woman sends a message. I have nothing better going on. My life revolves around your attention. That's not appealing. A man who is busy, focused on his goals, and confident in himself, that's magnetic. So, the takeaway here is simple but controversial. Stop chasing if you want attraction. Stop over-texting, stop over-pursuing, stop giving your attention freely. Instead, create a life that's worth noticing. Be confident, live fully, and let her work a little to earn your attention. Curiosity and desire will do the rest. Remember the example from the party, the man who's relaxed, enjoying himself, not clinging to her every word. He's the one who ends up catching her attention. That's not luck, that's psychology in action. Chasing kills attraction. It's uncomfortable to hear, but it's true. If you want women to be interested in you, you have to step back, hold your value, and let her invest in you. Stop giving everything for free and start creating space for desire to grow. Here's something most men refuse to admit, but it's one of the most powerful truths in attraction. Being too available destroys desire, while scarcity fuels it. It's controversial because it goes against everything we've been told about relationships. Society tells men to be attentive, always respond, always be there. But attraction doesn't work that way. Desire grows when something feels earned, limited, and not guaranteed. Think about it. What do we naturally value most? We value things that are rare, special, and not easy to get. The same applies to your attention as a man. If you are always there, always ready to respond, always giving, then your attention loses its value. You become predictable. She already knows she can get you anytime, and when something is easy to have, we stop valuing it. This is why stepping back is so powerful. When you don't make yourself available on demand, when you're living your life and pursuing your goals without her controlling your time, you send a subtle but extremely strong message. You are a man with boundaries, priorities, and self-respect. That message is magnetic, even if she doesn't consciously realize it. Scarcity creates curiosity, intrigue, and desire. Here's the controversial part. Most men think that being available, always answering texts, always agreeing to meet, shows interest. But in reality, too much availability shows a lack of self-respect. It tells her that your life revolves around her attention. That's the exact opposite of attraction. Women, like anyone, are drawn to people who have something else going on, who have their own ambitions, hobbies, and social life. Scarcity isn't about being cold or rude. It's about holding your attention like it's valuable. It's about living a life that doesn't stop for her messages or demands. It's about making her feel that to be part of your world, she has to earn it. And here's the beauty. Once she realizes that your time isn't free, she starts to invest energy, curiosity, and attention into you. Desire grows naturally when your availability is limited, because scarcity creates tension, anticipation, and interest. Now let's make this relatable. Think about your own life. Don't you notice when something is too easy to get, it loses its appeal? That video game you can always play loses excitement after a while. That snack you eat every day doesn't feel special anymore. The same principle applies to your attention. When you're constantly available to a woman, she loses the excitement, the tension, and the spark. Scarcity brings that spark back. Another thing men often miss is how scarcity builds respect. When you don't drop everything to respond instantly, when you keep your schedule intact, you show that your time matters. And respect is attractive. A woman who sees a man holding his own priorities realizes he isn't desperate. She realizes that he has value beyond her, and that value draws her in naturally. This isn't just about making her chase you for the sake of it. It's about creating a dynamic where mutual investment is real. When you're scarce, she invests attention, thought, and energy into you, which leads to stronger interest and deeper connection. Most men never realize this because they think attraction is about being nice or available. But attraction isn't about convenience. It's about desire, respect, and challenge. Here's another truth you can relate to. Men often feel guilty for holding back or not responding immediately. Society tells you that if a woman reaches out, you must drop everything and engage. But desire doesn't follow rules of guilt. It responds to value. When you hold back strategically, when you don't make yourself instantly available, you create tension. You make her curious, interested, and even excited when you do show attention. Scarcity also strengthens your sense of self. When you don't revolve your life around someone else, when you hold your attention like a treasure, you naturally become more confident. And confidence is one of the most attractive qualities a man can have. Women are drawn to men who are grounded, secure, and intentional. Scarcity is a tool that reinforces these qualities without you having to say a word. So the takeaway is simple yet controversial. Stop giving your attention away for free. Stop being constantly available. Stop letting her set the pace. Scarcity isn't manipulation. It's self-respect in action. It creates desire, intrigue, and attraction in ways that chasing never can. If you want women to value you, desire you, and invest in you naturally, you have to hold back, live your life, and let scarcity do the work. It's uncomfortable at first because it goes against what most men have been taught. But once you embrace it, you'll start seeing the difference in the way women respond and in the way you feel about yourself. Here's a truth most men don't want to hear. Compliments alone don't make you attractive. You can tell her she's beautiful, smart, funny, or amazing all day long. But if you lack confidence, purpose, and self-respect, your words won't matter. Most men confuse flattery with value, and that mistake is costing them. Wake up. Women aren't chasing the guy who says the right things all the time. They're drawn to the man who knows his worth, carries himself with confidence, and doesn't rely on constant validation. Let's be real. Too many men out there are acting like it's a competition of who can give the most attention, the most compliments, or the most emotional energy. They overthink every text, obsess over every response, and bend over backward to be liked. And what happens? They look weak, desperate, and uninteresting. Wake up. Being liked isn't enough. Attraction comes from strength, presence, and the ability to live your life fully without waiting for her approval. Confidence is powerful because it signals that you have a life beyond her. It shows that you have goals, standards, and boundaries. When a man is confident, he doesn't need constant reassurance that he's liked or wanted. He carries himself with calm, quiet power, and that is magnetic. Women notice it instinctively, even if they don't consciously understand why. It's not about arrogance or acting better than her. It's about being secure in yourself and refusing to hand over your attention for free. Here's the controversial part. Most men are doing the exact opposite. They rely on compliments, constant texting, and over-eagerness to get validation. They give their time, energy, and attention to women who barely notice them. And then they complain that women lose interest too fast or don't appreciate them. Wake up. If you're overgiving without holding value, you're training her to take you for granted. Confidence, not compliments, is what commands respect and desire. Think about it like this. When a confident man walks into a room, he doesn't need to say anything to be noticed. His energy, posture, and presence speak for him. He isn't desperate for approval, he isn't chasing, and he isn't performing. That quiet assurance makes women curious. They want to know more. They feel drawn without you even trying. Compare that to a man who constantly compliments, asks for attention, and chases. He's predictable, boring, and forgettable. Here's another wake-up call. Confidence isn't just about how you act in front of her. It's about how you live your life overall. A man who invests in himself, has passions, maintains boundaries, and pursues goals naturally radiates confidence. Women pick up on that energy immediately. A man who tries to impress through words alone is missing the point entirely. Confidence beats compliments every single time. Most men don't realize this because they are blinded by societal advice and outdated dating norms. They think being nice and polite will win her over, but here's the reality. Nice guys who overgive rarely finish first. Women don't respond to desperation. They respond to men who are secure, self-sufficient, and deliberate in their actions. Wake up. Being nice is a baseline. Being confident is what actually draws interest and sustains attraction. This is also where self-respect comes in. A man who respects himself doesn't overcompensate with compliments or chase validation. He gives attention strategically, shows interest without overdoing it, and maintains his boundaries. That self-respect is irresistible, and it's what most men lack. Wake up. If you want to attract a woman, your words alone won't cut it. Your presence, energy, and confidence matter far more. So here's the takeaway, and it's harsh but necessary. Stop relying on compliments as your main strategy. Stop chasing validation through words and gestures alone. Stop giving your attention freely while waiting for her to notice you. Wake up, build your confidence, hold your value, live a life that doesn't revolve around being liked. When you do that, compliments become icing on the cake. They're meaningful because they come from a man who already commands respect. Most men won't hear this. Most men will keep giving away their attention, hoping it will make her like them. Don't be that guy. Be the man who stands tall, lives fully, and knows his worth. Confidence beats compliments every single time. Let's be brutally honest, because I'm not here to sugarcoat anything. Most men are chasing all the wrong things in relationships, and it's destroying their chances before they even start. That's the controversial truth nobody wants to admit. You're giving your attention freely. You're over-texting, over-explaining, over-pleasing, and expecting women to suddenly fall for you. And when they don't, you feel frustrated, confused, or even bitter. The wake-up call is simple. You're doing it all wrong. Here's the hard part. Attraction doesn't respond to desperation. It doesn't respond to constant availability. It doesn't respond to words alone. If you want to attract a woman, you need self-respect, confidence, and a life that doesn't revolve around her attention. That's controversial because it goes against everything most men have been told. But it's true, and the men who understand this, who stop chasing, who embrace scarcity, who build real confidence, are the ones who succeed where most fail. Now, I know this may make some of you uncomfortable. You might feel defensive, thinking, but I'm just being nice. And that's exactly the problem. Being nice isn't enough. Being available isn't enough. Complimenting her constantly isn't enough. Most men don't realize that their so-called effort is actually lowering their value. And if you keep giving it away, you'll keep losing. Wake up. This isn't about being cruel. It's about being smart. It's about understanding the rules of attraction that most men ignore entirely. Here's the controversial part you need to hear. If you keep chasing without holding value, you are invisible to the kind of woman you actually want. She won't see your effort as attractive. It will see it as desperation. She won't be drawn to you. It will feel like pressure. You're investing energy in a way that gives nothing back. And the worst part? Most men don't even realize it. They think they're doing everything right, while in reality, they're training women to take them for granted. That's why so many good men struggle to get the attention, respect, and attraction they deserve. But here's the opportunity. You can change it. You can stop chasing. You can embrace scarcity in a way that feels natural, not manipulative. You can focus on building confidence that comes from living your life, pursuing your goals, and maintaining your boundaries. When you do this, something incredible happens. Women notice. They invest. They want your attention because it isn't free. They respect you because you respect yourself. And the most important part, you feel stronger, more confident, and in control of your life. And this is where I want to connect with you personally. I know many of you have been frustrated, confused, or even hurt by dating. I know you've texted, chased, and given everything only to feel ignored or undervalued. And I also know how it feels to realize that the solution isn't changing her. It's changing how you show up. That's why I want to hear from you. Share your experiences in the comments. Tell me what's worked, what hasn't, and how this advice resonates with your reality. I'll read every comment and I'll reach out where I can. This isn't just a video. It's a conversation, a connection, a chance for us to learn and grow together. Here's the final truth, and it's as controversial as it is simple. If you keep chasing like everyone else, you will keep getting ignored. You will keep feeling frustrated and nothing will change. But if you stop, if you hold your value, if you embrace scarcity and confidence, if you live a life worth noticing, everything changes. Women notice, respect grows, desire follows. And your entire approach to relationships shifts from desperation to control, from confusion to clarity. So this is your moment. Take a step back, evaluate how much attention you're giving away for free, and ask yourself, am I building attraction? Or am I destroying it without realizing it? Wake up, take control, and apply these principles. Share your journey in the comments. Let's create a space where men can learn, grow, and finally start seeing results where they've been struggling for too long. Because the truth is uncomfortable, but it's liberating. Ignoring her strategically, embracing scarcity, and building real confidence isn't mean. It's the path to being the man she actually wants. Stop chasing, start living, and watch how the dynamic shifts in ways most men only dream about.